Having just an incredible game last Saturday.
Yeah, he is fun to watch. It's fun from my perspective, seeing both he and Nick on opposite ends of each other. Just the way they complement each other's game. Really, what they allow us to do defensively, because you can't really slide protection one way or the other, because you got two people on both ends that have similar capabilities. I think the way he plays is the way you want your team to play. He plays with discipline. He plays with physicality. He plays with toughness, and he's got an unbelievable motor and a will to go compete and win his individual matchups.
And then just you've obviously already broken down the Michigan tape. You know all about that defense. I mean, it's just the best defense you think you've seen to this point in 2023. And how do you crack that defense?
Yeah, if you got an answer how to crack it, let me know, because there's been a lot of people who struggle this year. They've got, so what I think is unique about Michigan just in its entirety as a program is, yes, they have really good players, but they also have really good scheme on offense, defense, and special teams. And so they pose problems and try to take away what you're good at. And they've got really good players that are able to do so. And so when they are out of position, albeit a few times, they've got guys that can make up for it and overcome some of the maybe schematical errors or mental errors throughout the course of a play. And so I think that's what makes Michigan special right now. And I'm excited to game plan for and go compete against them in a great environment.
You watch the news, look at your social media. You know what's going on at Michigan, the allegations. How do you think that will impact them Saturday night?
Impact them?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. My focus is on us and our team. Obviously we are very aware of what allegations are out there, and we'll plan accordingly.
And then just speak to their quarterback, JJ McCarthy. He really looks like the straw that stirs the drink up there this year, even more than the running backs.
Yeah, he's you can definitely tell his improvement from last year to this year. Obviously we played against them when I was the coordinator at Illinois. Very talented, can make every throw, can get you out of trouble with his legs on the ground. Where he's grown this season is, last year he had some questionable decisions at times and tried to make hero plays at times that kind of got them in trouble offensively. And you don't see him making those mistakes this season. So he just looks like he's more seasoned, looks like he's more mature, and has a really good understanding of not only what they're trying to get done schematically, but what the situation they're in on the field, what's the down and distance, what area of the field are they in, and so that he doesn't make mistakes. And so, he's playing the way he's playing because of his talent and because of his progression this season.
What can you do as a staff to kind of spark the offense? Is it a matter of scheme, or is it a matter of personnel, or is it sort of a mix of both?
No, I think that's a good question, but there are problems everywhere, right? There's some things I think we can do schematically to calm us down a little bit and take advantage of some opportunities when they present themselves in games. And then we also just as a roster need to execute the plan. For instance, last week, you go back and you watch the tape, and there were plays to be had out there, and for whatever reason the ball didn't find the right guy, or we miss a block here or there, or we drop a pass here and there. So it's not, you can't point to any one person, can't point to any one position group. And I think that's where, as a team, we've got to all get on the same page and take accountability for doing your individual job and doing it at a high level. And so we talked about really trust and belief and confidence in what we're doing, no matter the outcome of the previous play. You got to go back and reset and refocus and retrust the plan, your teammates, and your own ability. For example, I think, if I was talking to Hudson, I'm like, every snap you got to trust that you're going to get protected. You got to trust that the receiver's going to run the right route and they're going to be at the right depth. And then you got to trust in your arm and deliver the ball accordingly. And if you throw a pick that play, or you get hit that play, or the receiver's not in the right spot that play, the next snap you got to retrust that all those things are going to happen. And if we do that, we'll have a chance to continue to improve. And if we don't, then we're going to see the same results.
After the loss on Saturday and then looking ahead to Michigan this week, just what's kind of the mood of the team right now?
Yeah, I think, naturally there is frustration, there's there's anger, there's disappointment. I did think that we had a very productive meeting on Sunday. We sat in and watched the game in its entirety as a full team, staff, players, coaches alike, and really talked through every play, the good, the bad, the ugly, and what we need to accomplish in those certain moments. I think we aren't playing like complementary football right now, and that's been the case this season for whatever reason. You look at earlier in the year, I thought offensively we were a little ahead of where we are defensively, and they were making plays, and we were struggling on defense. And then sort of as the year has gone, you see that the defense is starting to hit its stride and make some plays, and now we're struggling a little bit offensively. So just got to continue to put our head down and go to work and improve in areas where we see we can improve right now, and continue to go compete and fight. Like, that's what I want to see moving forward, is just I want to see guys fighting to go win a ball game, and not waiting to see what happens, or hoping that some spark happens and some sort of magical recipe to kickstart us. Like, we got to go out there with the mindset of kickstarting ourselves, and so that'll definitely be the focus this week.
How do you make sure that nobody's getting too low on the lows and that they kind of keep a level head?
No, that's my job as the head coach. I've found, especially with this team, like, you have to let them ride the highs throughout the course of the game and some of the momentum plays. I think we feed off of that, and when we do have some momentum, and then it's my job, when we get into the lows, to bring us out of there. And it's obviously, like, I'm human. I have the same human emotions, but as the leader, as the head coach, I got to look at the program in its entirety and bring us out of those moments. And so I think yesterday's meeting was beneficial and allowed us to do that.
Abdur is on the depth chart, and I know he hasn't played the last couple of games. Do you anticipate him being good to go now?
If we had to play tomorrow, I don't think so. Hopefully by Saturday he'll continue to improve, but he'll be out there when he's ready.
And Musa's not on the depth chart. I assume he's done, right?
Yeah, I would say Musa and OC. I would be shocked if we get them back in some capacity this season.
Going off of that, Daniel Johnson's a guy that when you got here probably was going through some injury things, but to see him elevate and get back to a position to help you, how big has that been for a guy that's playing out his final year?
Yeah, it's huge, and I'm really happy for him. Like, he's put in a lot of work. Physically, he is what you want at tackle, right? He's tall, he's long, he's twitchy. He's just had an unfortunate string of injuries, and so to see him battle back and deal with sort of the pain of rehab, to be able to come back and play, really, if you look at the one bright spot on offense this past week, I thought it was the offensive line, and to deal with the type of adversity that they've dealt with, it's kudos to Coach Johnson and to Gus as a leader at the center position, and whoever else is in the lineup with those guys. I felt like they gave us a chance to be successful on offense, and it just goes to show, like, that's what happens when you work together and you work hard and you go fight.
You've been in this Big Ten West, and you know how crazy it is. Is it strange to you sit here talk about being 2-6? You're not out of this thing yet. You got 4 games left, and you're 2 games back. Yeah,
I mean, right now you really can't pay attention to the record. Our focus right now is, like, we need to improve. You know what I mean? Like, that. It was maddening Saturday to come off a bye week and put forth that type of performance as a team. Like, obviously there were positives in there at times, but this is a team game. It's a team sport, and we need to get better, and so that is the focus, and we'll make sure we do so.
Looking ahead, I know you're looking at one game at a time, but when you look at the makeup of your defense, and you've got a sophomore Nick Scorton, a sophomore Yanni Karloftis, a freshman at cornerback, freshman Dylan Thieneman, you got to feel really good about where this thing is going on that side of the ball, years down the road when you get done with this season and into the spring, right?
Yeah, I mean, on both sides of the ball, really. Like, we're playing a lot of young guys. This when I got the job, the goal is or for me and the administration, is to set up this program where it can have long-term sustainable success, right? And so every decision that we are making is with long-term in mind. Like obviously everybody wants to win right now and win big right now, and that is the goal. But you got to go through the process, and we do have a lot of freshmen that are playing on defense. You look at offensively, we got, Max Clare was a redshirt freshman, and he was playing really well before he got hurt. Hudson's got years left of eligibility. You've got George Byrne is getting more snaps at tight end. We've got some freshman wideouts that are doing well. Tibbs is inserted into the lineup now. And you just mentioned all the guys on defense. And so I do think, we will continue to improve, and those guys will continue to learn and get better. And that is the goal, is to get better year in and year out. And I think the experience that we're gaining from some of our younger players will be monumental to this program and our success moving forward.
One more question for Coach?
Devin had his 7th fumble. But you guys just got to keep feeding him the ball. He's that vital, right?
Yeah, it's unfortunate. That was one of the areas though where we did play some complimentary football. He fumbled and we were able to go 3 and out and get the ball right back. So, it's a teachable moment too. Like early in the snap, he had it high and tight, exactly how you wanted. He makes a guy miss, and it kind of gets loose to the side. And it's never the guy you see that's causing the fumble. It's the guys that you don't see that are chasing from the stack and kind of punching the ball out from behind. And so, to me, that's a technique deal. We can coach that up. But you're absolutely right. You gotta keep feeding him. You gotta continue to obviously hold him accountable. But like he's not out there fumbling on purpose, right? And he got some hard-fought yards later on in that game, and nobody was more upset that the ball was on the ground than him, I promise you.
Then you mentioned, I think, post-game on the blocked field goal. You thought it was a case of a poor snap. Was that upon further view?
Yeah, it was a little bit high snap and then a bobbled hold, and so it's hard to get that up in the air. Just unfortunate.
Anything else? All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks.
Everyone.